On this video, I want to talk about a topic that's been on my mind for about 5 years or so. Well, unfortunately, by now that topic's been a little bit outdated and not as relevant anymore, but I still want to get it off my chest and I want to talk to you about it. The topic that's been on my mind for the last 5 years is the one that deals with estimating number of emails as well as processing speed per gigabyte of data. What we used to get is we had clients call us up and say, hey, I have 5 gigabytes of emails. Can you tell me how many email messages are in those 5 gigabytes? And can you tell me exact time it'll take you to process the data from the moment we give you go ahead? If you've been in e-discovery long enough, you heard this question. So let me try to explain why it's very difficult or almost impossible to estimate both of those things. And I'm going to use 2 extreme examples to illustrate my point. Once we received a mailbox that was fairly small, couple of gigs, and we told client, yeah, no problem, we'll get it loaded, you'll have it in a couple of hours. So we set it up for processing, started loading, and the message count went up to like hundreds, thousands of messages. And we were like, whoa, something's wrong here. It must be corrupt PST, maybe it's just loading garbage data or something else. But at this point, we had no choice but to let the data finish loading. And once it did finish loading, we went into the original PST and looked what's in it. And to everyone's surprise, it did contain hundreds of thousands of messages. So when we look at them, what is that data? We noticed that the person was an IT administrator, and what they would get is those small notification emails about server stats, like the backup failed, backup ran, something completed successfully, and they would get those messages multiple a day or even hundreds per day, and they were folded in a separate subfolder called system whatever. And having that many messages drastically increased the record count and made ingestion much slower. So our estimate was way off. In the other example, we had just the opposite situation. We got a fairly sizable PST, we gave client an estimate, started loading it into our processing software, and it loaded extremely quickly. So we looked at it, what's going on? Why is the message count so low? Maybe something errored out or failed loading for some reason. Well, as it turned out, the data was from a graphics design company, and what they were doing is creating brochures and such, and they were creating PDFs and pictures, and they were attaching them and emailing to either each other or the client. So because of that, the document count was really low and the attachment size was really high. So the all data got loaded and processed very quickly. Yeah, I know this problem doesn't exist much more because computer speeds and processing speeds are way faster, and estimating such information, well, becoming less and less relevant. But hopefully this example gives you an idea why trying to estimate this information without knowing what the data contains is very difficult to almost impossible.